Now, this morning, I am joined by the CEO and the chairman of Fingo. And in case you don't know about Fingo, I want you to go into the Google Play Store, the App Store as well, and download the Fingo app, because I want you to challenge yourself to actually go in, register in a record time of 240 seconds. Imagine that, 240 seconds. So on the show this morning, I want to introduce Mr. Kiiru and Mr. Mohammed. Good morning, guys. How are you guys doing?
Good morning, Calvin. We're doing well. Thank you for the invite and being on the show.
Definitely. Kiiru, you're
amazing.
well?
Yeah, doing amazing. Thank you for having us, and thank you for helping us tell our story at Fingo.
Definitely. Now, Fingo for me is, as I was telling you guys off the mics, I did see the launch last year and I was very, very excited about it. But now getting to actually read the story and see what the whole background is. And of course, I love anything that's to do with tech and banking, investment, and just as a whole, talking about financial literacy, for me, is something that I'm always behind, because financial literacy is one of those things that's slept on in our education system. Now, let's start with financial literacy. As two people who've been in investments and banking and how would you say the financial literacy of the continent is, especially the youth on the continent?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So financial literacy for me starts off when you have your first interactions with money.
Yes.
And to take us back, why we started Fingo is we realized that every young person's first interaction with money comes from either a bank account, or in this particular context, a mobile money wallet.
Yes.
And those services are not particularly designed for young people. So here we are in Africa, the youngest continent in the world.
Yes.
Actually in history, and the fastest growing. So the median age is 19.
Yes.
I would presume that you'd have dedicated financial services to take this population into different stages of life.
Yes.
And actually you don't. So what we did at Fingo is we first realized that your first touch point is not designed for a young person. It's actually designed for an economy that is much older. And what we did is we thought, okay, how can we introduce financial services in a way that is educational,
yes,
and also accessible? And so when you walk into a branch as a young person, and when you try to get an account, it's a really painful experience. So with Fingo, it takes you 5 minutes, 240 seconds rather. That's actually 4 minutes.
4 minutes, yes.
Exactly, 240 seconds. And so once you get that account, the first thing we're telling you is actually, let's educate you about money.
Yes.
And let's do it in a fun way. And again, being decisive and being really, really dedicated to this young population means that we have to do it in a social way.
Yes.
So we have things like kind of a money trivia. So we ask you questions about money. When you answer them correctly, we give you Fingo points, right? We give you a savings account. So the second you open your account digitally, you're not just getting a bank account or a current account, you're getting a savings account immediately as well. So you're not going to other financial services, other providers. You're getting a gamified education process. You're getting a savings account, and you're doing it all fully virtually in under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
4 minutes, right?
4 minutes.
So it is an exciting proposition. And I think the difference with us and other financial services is that we actually looked at this young population and we said, who is building for them, right? And how do we build for them and exclusively them? And I like to say that, people say Fingo is a niche in the youth space, but it's not a niche. Young people across the continent, the median age again is 19. 70% is youth. So it's a movement that is dedicated towards empowering, educating, and enabling these young people to create wealth through the app.
I like the fact that you actually mentioned, current account and savings account. Now, I want to talk to Mr. Mohammed, the chairman. Of course, you've got when I was looking at your portfolio, you've got a background in quite a bit of investment, right?
True.
Yes. With the youth on the continent, do we really have a saving culture? Is it different in different markets? Are we doing anything towards saving, or are we just like being encouraged, make your first salary and spend it on whatever, take a car loan or something as it goes?
Thank you so much, Calvin. It's a very good question. And I think if you look at the culture of the youth across the continent, it's you borrow and then you buy instead of saving to buy.
Yes.
So that's a culture that Fingo is trying also to change. It's a movement that Fingo wants to change and have an impact. I mean, you asked a very important questions. I mean, if you look at financial inclusiveness in the continent, we boast to have a mobile penetration of one of the highest in probably across the globe.
Yes.
So if you look at Kenya itself, everybody has a 2-line, Airtel or Safaricom, but there's always an issue. There's always an issue in embracing digital innovation.
Yeah.
We are advanced in accepting M-Pesa.
Yes.
We are advanced in accepting Uber Eats. Yet when young people go to the bank, 19 years old walks to the bank and a 40 or 50 years old walks to the bank. Of course, let's say the psychology of the teller or the relationship manager is the old man has money, the young man doesn't.
Of course.
But yet, the guys who actually are on mobile are the young people.
Yes.
So, but Fingo is also not for young people. Fingo is for somebody who doesn't want to go to the bank. Gone are the days of brick and mortar branches. Yeah, nowadays
everything on the app.
Yeah, nowadays I hear banks even if you look at their investor presentations, they don't boast how many branches they have.
Yes.
It's actually they shy away from that conversation.
Yeah.
So people are talking about how they embrace digital innovation. So that's why you find all banks are going into fintech and everything. But Africa is ready.
Yes.
It's been ready. We have the population. We have them. We have the. I mean, Kiiru is a fantastic CEO. I mean, I enjoy working with him. I learn a lot of things from him as well.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that we have the population. I don't know if you know a story about a bank called New Bank in Latin America.
Tell me about it.
Now, New Bank started in 2016, and Kiiru, feel free to jump in.
Yes.
It started in 2016 in Latin America. They had 100,000 customers. Today, 2024, listed in New York Stock Exchange.
Yes.
Same business model as Fingo.
Yes.
They are $45 billion
Wow.
worth today. So, and what does New Bank? I mean, what do they have? What does Fingo has that New Bank doesn't?
Yes.
Now, we are in Africa. We have the population. We have the mass.
Yes.
We have the financial. Most of our Africans are financial literate. Yet in South America, there's only a population of New Bank targeted a population of 243 million. We are targeting 700 million. So you can assume where this trajectory is going of Fingo.
Sure.
So anyways, it's a movement. We're changing how people think about finance, technology. Yeah.
I like that. Listening to both of you, and I want to go back to Kiiru. Of course, you as a young CEO, and I love how you articulated your point. I want to speak to the Gen Zs who are listening right now. Now, the one thing I love about the Gen Zs is, how the year 2024, they're standing on business. You know what I'm saying, right? So when it comes to days when I was growing up, internships, you weren't even making money. Nowadays, they're like, hey, boss, my time is money, right? And they want to be paid for everything. They're very concerned about sustainability, about money, about investments. I sit down with guys who are 21. I've got a friend of mine who has a whole bunch of companies. And I sit, just as Mr. Mohammed said, and you listen to them and you learn a lot, right? With that said, are we still... how is it that you, as Fingo, can help with giving money to some of these Gen Zs to be able to invest in some of the businesses? Because at the end of the day, at times getting into a business or an entrepreneurship journey, you need some capital. And I'm just looking at the Business Daily this morning. It's talking about interest rates from banks at about 26%. That is super sky high. But as Fingo, how are we approaching this differently?
That's an awesome question, Calvin. Let me start off by saying that The median age of our team at Fingo is around 25. We're also backed by one of the largest banks, EcoBank.
Yes.
And we have expertise, for example, from our chairman, Ali, who has, decades of experience in banking.
Yes.
But at the core of Fingo is this Gen Z culture of standing on business. So we started Fingo because we walked into branches and we didn't like what we saw. So we decided, let's just build our bank ourselves. And today that bank exists with partners and with experts like Ali as well. And what we're saying to these young people is that right now, they look at you as if you're a small fish in a large ocean. Right now, they undermine you. Right now, you're not treated as if you have the potential. And as Fingo, we're looking at this youth across Africa, hundreds of millions, and we're saying we're banking you because you're ambitious. Because right now, your potential, your size may be small, but your potential is enormous.
Yes.
And we're looking at Africa in the next 10 years, where we're going to be, right? In the next 30 years, where we're going to be. By 2050, a third of the working population in the entire world will be on this continent and will be these young people. So in terms of how we grow this young people's wealth, that's the foundation of what we do. The foundation of what we do is we're banking on these people being ambitious and creating jobs and creating businesses. So when you open a Fingo account, one, we're saving you time. Two, we're giving you access to investments. So right now, you as I said earlier, you get a savings account right on the go.
Yeah.
And if you download Fingo early, right now, you're going to get early access in the next few weeks to a couple of exciting products. Our USD bank account, so you can save and hold money in USD. You can get access to a hustle account, which is our business account.
Yes.
If you think opening a personal account is hard, try opening a business account. In this country, right? Like you can't do it, right?
You definitely.
Why? Because they look at you as you're a small fish, man.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be able to do all these things on Fingo, and because of this, you're gonna be able to create your own wealth. So be in charge of your destiny, have access to all the investment opportunities, including access to government opportunities, as you mentioned, treasury bonds.
Yes.
You're going to have access to that, again, in just 5 minutes. And we're going to do this across the continent.
If you're African, you're ambitious, and you're all about standing on business, I really want you to take a look at this. Like some of the things that you actually can do is transact with Fingo friends for free. Now that's something. You can take control when it comes to budgeting. If you're one of those guys who doesn't understand nothing about budgeting, you can get on the app and actually learn how to budget. You get to improve your financial literacy as well and achieve your saving goals. All of that on the Fingo app. So make sure you get it today. And I've got Kiiru and of course Mr. Mohammed, the chairman and the CEO. Both of them, the CEO and of course the chairman of the Fingo app. Now, on one of the things that we were talking about was mentorship, right? And of course, I can when I look at you guys, there's quite a bit of an age difference, right? And it's rather obvious. It's rather obvious. So one of the things that I have to ask is, how did you guys even bump into each other, and who pitched to who? Huh?
I'll let Kiiru tell the story.
Okay, let's go. Kiiru, what happened? How did you meet this gentleman?
Absolutely. So I started Fingo when I was around 23 years old.
Yes.
During that time, I was frustrated by the banking guys. I was just like, I'll build a bank myself. But that's a long journey.
Yes.
Right? It's a long journey. You need a lot of partnerships. You need a lot of friends. You need a lot of allies. And also you need capital.
Yes.
So we started to raise capital. We got investment from Y Combinator, which is one of
which is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Yep.
That's I wouldn't even shy away from that. It's a massive deal.
We when you look at
changed the trajectory of the company, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
So we got investment from Y Combinator, and from there we realized that we have the capital, but actually as young guys, we did not have the expertise.
Yes.
Right. We have not run a bank. Heck, we've barely had jobs, let's be honest. But we needed someone who could, not just be in our corner,
yes.
But also be the one in the ring with us, negotiating with regulators, with partners, with other investors. And we realized actually we're out of our depth here.
Yes.
What we're really good at is understanding the product, the Gen Zs, and actually preaching and evangelizing the product.
Yes.
But there's so much more, that goes into this project. So one of our investors introduced us to, an expert at this. And I had a first call with Ali, and Ali was just like, you guys are crazy. I love it. Let's do it together.
Yes.
And I went back to my founding team. I was like, listen, I think we found the guy who's going to take us, through our journey.
Yes.
And that's actually how we met Ali. We had a need, and Ali had massive experience in banking and fintech, and not only that, but I think he was one of the really unique people who actually understood what we were doing, because I've pitched this to thousands of people, hundreds of people, all experienced bankers. A lot of them are just like, where do we even want to bank young people? But Ali was like, this is the future. And so really grateful to have him on.
So he mentioned something unique, right? What was the unique proposition from Fingo when they were pitching to you that made you go like, you know what, as he said, this is a brilliant idea, let's go in?
I lived in Qatar for 20 years. I was the CEO of a bank there for 5 years, the last 5 years of my life in Qatar.
Yes.
We were approached, I was working for the Sovereign Fund of Qatar. We were approached by New Bank. And if you strip New Bank's financial model, and if you take everything, just forget about it's a Brazilian bank.
Yeah.
It's a digital bank, it's a neo bank, it's a fintech, you call it whatever you want to call it. You could see that they have the same similarities as startup, as Fingo. And when they say it looks like a car, it is a car. Actually, from far, they look the same.
Yeah.
So when they, it is a moment, it is an aha moment where you say, wow.
Not going to sleep on this.
I'm not going to sleep on it.
Yes.
Yeah, these guys are in Africa. They have the population. New Bank doesn't have the population. We have the financial literacy better than South America.
Yes.
We understand English. We have a lot of banks here, unlike South America. So if you look at South America, there's only 3 countries that are more sophisticated: Brazil, Latin America, Mexico, Chile. But what really struck me, about these guys is, they were not actually, they were not selling. This product was not only appealing to the young, to the youth, it was appealing to me
as well.
Yeah, as well. So you say there's an age difference. By the way, there's nothing I like being disruptive. I always tell people there's a worst addiction in life, and people think the worst addiction is alcohol, drugs, whatever it is, gaming, whatever. The worst addiction is comfort zone.
Yeah, oof, that's true.
And guess what? These guys got me out of my comfort zone.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was so pleased to see their deck. So when I look at the investors, you see the likes of Y Combinator, the Hof, and you go like, wow, these are the most sophisticated investors in the world.
Yes.
So their DD, their due diligence process is
massive.
It's nothing. So if these guys have gone through that, who am I not to jump?
Amen.
So I took. It is a journey worth taking.
Yes.
And for me, to be honest, it's a pleasure working with Kiiru and the team. It is. It's a fresh breath of air when it comes to fintech. When you go to the banks here locally, I'm not going to mention names. It's the same jargons, it's the same quotes, it's the same. But these guys know what they're doing. Knowing what you're doing and delivering. They say it's not delivering a product that is amazing. It's actually what the product can do for you.
Yes.
So these guys are offering, they had pain points. They're offering,
as any business will.
They're offering a solution, and it's a niche. Yeah.
I like that. Now, Kiiru, what is the one thing when, because I've seen some of the people that you'd actually gotten when you guys were launching, right? And I was like, these are mighty young people. Which is the one thing from, and we're going to get into it just now, that attracted so many people to sign up, right? I know it's a very easy process. We said 240 seconds. We're actually going to do it. But which is that one thing that is just, everybody keeps saying, yo, Fingo, this is the one thing that gets me on it each and every single time?
That's a great question. So we asked our users. We said, what do you love about Fingo? There were a couple of different opinions.
Yes.
But centrally, the most popular word we heard was that it was cool. So let's define cool, right? So, if you are a young person, you use WhatsApp, you use Facebook, Insta, TikTok, you use social media apps. And if you go to your traditional banking app, it's a different experience. It's clunky, it's hard to use. You have to call customer support all the time, wait a couple of hours. You make a transaction, you have to take like 8 different steps. No, not with Fingo. With Fingo, we designed it based off of, we understand social. So when you're sending money to someone, you can attach a GIF. You can send money using something called a money chat. So it appears like a WhatsApp chat, but it's cash you're sending and it's a free transaction, so it's cheaper. You can create a savings pot. So if you have a goal that you're saving for a new car, even, to take someone out on a date, you can just tap, create a savings pot, attach a picture to motivate you of that car, and then you can set recurring savings, so 100 shillings a day until you reach your goal. So there's a lot of social aspects that have made it really fun. And then you can also refer a friend. So if you refer a friend, we give you 20 shillings. If you refer 3 or 4 friends with a special code, we give you more. So what happened is we started to go viral because it was a really social platform, and people were sharing it, referring friends. Actually, we've spent very little on marketing. Most of the growth has been just friends referring other friends, and then that social aspect of sending money to someone for free in a really kind of chat manner really picked up. So I would say the design of the app was what really got people, and then what kept people is a functionality. So making the transactions cheaper and being able to use things like savings pots.
How many people have signed up so far?
So we have 120,000 people signed up so far.
Yes.
We are growing close to 1,000 accounts a day.
That's fantastic.
So if you are, listening to this, please be one of the accounts contributing. Please sign up. And it is magical, right? If you imagine the process of actually just, I think one of the most inspiring things I heard was from a young guy who, was like, he stopped me and he's like, bro, the one thing you guys have done for me that I love is sipendangi kwenda tao. And I always have to go to town to see my branch guy and they mistreat me. Like, I just don't have to do that with Fingo.
Yes.
And that for me, that was like, okay, let's keep on this.
You know what I like about it? I'm on the app and I'm one of those guys who uses like what do you call it, the night mode on the phone a lot, and pop inside, like I can either do day mode or night mode instantly, or you can even do the timing and everything, and you go in, it says login, terms and conditions, okay, all of that, you approve all of it and everything. So we said 240 seconds, right? It's so easy. All you have to do is go in, download the app, and actually just sign up. Like, I'm just doing that right now, literally as I talk into the microphone. Let me just approve this and accept, and what's the next step? Continue. It says Kenya, your country, give the phone number, and you go on and on and on and on. Now, I want to talk as we conclude, right? Opening an account. First and foremost, what do I need to open an account? Do I need my picture? Do I need my physical ID? Do I need a photocopy? All of those things. I've been opening banks for a hot minute. You get?
You know the drill.
Yes.
So what we've done is we've digitized that process. So if you have your ID in your pocket, you take a picture of your ID, you scan it.
Yes.
We take that, we recognize it, we read it, and we try to match it with the government database to authenticate it.
Yes.
And then secondly, you have a camera on your phone. You take a selfie. We scan that. We have intelligence and AI software that's able to authenticate whether that selfie picture you took is live, is you. You match that to the ID, to the government database, and if it's accurate, you get an account. That's all.
Instantly.
Instantly.
So the government has all of this data.
I mean, it's a bank account at the end of the day, right?
Yes.
It's a bank account. All bank accounts are regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya.
Yes.
You meet the requirements, you get a bank account.
So just that, and I'm in, and I can start to transact.
And you're good.
All right. Now, in terms of depositing money into the account, do I need a certain amount to open an account to start with?
Completely free.
Free. Or okay. Now, on to another thing. Transaction account. You did say on the chat feature where I'm sending my friends money, it's free. But what if I want to send money to my mom? And I've got like money in my account, my current. Is there a fee to that?
So you have two options, right?
Yes.
Firstly, when you sign up, try sending me money, and I'll show you the options. But if your mom is not on Fingo,
yes,
you can send her money on M-Pesa.
Okay.
You can send money to her on her bank account.
Yes.
Those will incur a fee.
Yes, of course.
But if you ask your mom, hey, actually just sign up on Fingo, I'll send you this money for free and we don't have to incur a cost, she can get it for free.
So there's no number of transactions that if I get to, I'll start to be charged.
All
after.
Fingo to Fingo transactions, free for life.
Till Jesus comes back.
Free for life. And you know, people think this is shocking.
Yeah.
But actually, this is the standard.
What do you mean this is the standard?
If you go into a very developed banking market,
yes,
you are on the same platform, you send each other money for free.
Yes.
Like, why would we charge you to move money? I think it's,
There's been
it's
some
tough.
shillings that keep being deducted here there. Now, speaking of which, what's the next big move for Fingo? Of course, 100K. We're talking about a population of about 700 million on the continent. That is something that that's the bankable youth and the youth on the continent. So what's next for Fingo?
If I may jump in, we've grown organically, which is quite good.
Important.
And we've partnered up with strategic partners like EcoBank. I want to thank EcoBank from the bottom of our hearts, because there's an African saying that says if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. So EcoBank is for us a strategic partner, not only in Kenya, across sub-Saharan Africa. They're in 33 countries.
Yes.
So that's the quickest way for us to grow organically. And also they have a lot of customers. So it's a good question, Calvin, we don't compete on pricing. We compete on value. So our products are very appealing. There are a lot of value-add services. So at the moment, we've done some capital raise. A lot of appetite from international institutional investors, single family offices, sovereign wealth fund. So we are quite happy, and also we're quite happy to have that conversation. It's good to be in a position whereby you can choose who your investors are.
That's a brilliant position to be at. Yeah,
absolutely. Where do we go next? If you ask someone at Fingo, they'll say world domination, right? They'll say, we're going where Africa is going, or where we believe Africa is going, which is to be one of the wealthiest continents in the world. And what we want Fingo to do is to bank at least 1/3 of every young African in the next 2 decades. So over 500 million young Africans on the Fingo platform. And immediately what we're launching next is a US dollar account, our virtual cards, and our physical debit cards. So you'll be able to order that like from where you're sat, like though you'd order Glovo, right?
Islamic banking product.
And Islamic banking product as well. Exactly.
As well.
Precisely.
Yes.
And as Ali mentioned, we will be, kind of gaining investment and growing this across Africa.
Yes.
So as he mentioned as well, EcoBank is in 33 markets, where we have a strategic partner that will help us access all these markets. So we're not just saying this is a Kenyan thing. This is a truly African thing.
You know what I love about listening to both of you, and which is very important when it comes to organic growth, community. You can't lie about community, right? What I love about what you said is when you met Ali and you went back and spoke to the founding community, and you guys agreed and said, this is a man that we want to work with. Second point was when you asked the community of guys who'd signed up what they really liked. You get?
Yes.
That's another thing. And of course, Africa, all of those youth that you're targeting, definitely a community. So I love what you guys are doing, and anything that we can do as Trace to support you guys, definitely let's talk. And of course, I wish you the best in, this is something that's amazing. We want to celebrate it. And of course, I'm going to be joining real quick today. Me, you've caught me when you said dollar account, virtual card, all of those. Thank you guys for coming through. And of course, once again, congratulations. And to the team, do you want to give them a shout at least? They're listening.
Yeah, shout out Ian, Gitari, James. Shout out to our developers, the people who've built this up. This was built in Kenya.
Yes.
Sean, Ken, Collins. There's a lot of people that were involved. And shout out to our investors as well. And lastly, shout out to EcoBank and all the people that have supported our community.
Mr. Ali, any final words?
I want to thank Trace FM for hosting us, and Fingo is African, and we're here to change. We're here to disrupt the normal banking way. So get used to Fingo.
Get used to Fingo. There you go, man. Make sure you go download it today. It's available at the Google Play Store, the iOS Store, and of course, challenge yourself. 240 seconds to register real quick.
Me and my niggas ahead of the time, yeah. Put the future behind us, king.